Number 84 on our house inspection checklist is your dryer vent. And you get a bonus story with this one because I've got a story for you at the end after I finish here. Now, you need to check the dryer vent and the hose, flexible hose that comes from your dryer to the dryer vent that connects it. Check these areas to make sure that there isn't any lint blocking anything, blocking the pipe at all. And sometimes these are hard to check. You know, I mean, let's face it, sometimes you got to pull the dryer out or the wash machine out to get to this stuff. And again, I'm going to leave that up to you. That's up to you. If you're not going to do that, at least you can do is go outside and lift the little movable flap on there if you have one and inspect it. Look inside there and see if there is an accumulation of lint. If there is an accumulation of lint, there's a good chance that it's running throughout the rest of the pipe or even in the flexible hose that connects to the dryer. So give that a good inspection. Now here's what happens if these things get plugged. Your clothes won't dry. It'll take longer for them to dry. Here's the bonus story. I actually worked on a lady's house, and I was doing some work on her roof, and I noticed that the dryer vent was, I could hear it clacking. It would open and then shut. So I went down there and I held my hand underneath it, and there was nothing coming out. Every once in a while there'd be a little burst of air, but it was just slight. So I went in and I asked the lady if her dryer was on. She said, "Yeah, my dryer's on." And I said, "Well, how long does it usually take you to dry clothes?" And she says, "Oh, it takes about 45 minutes to an hour." And I thought, okay, I really had no idea how long it took to dry clothes. Kind of a stupid question. Why even ask that? Why even threw it into the story? Who knows? But there is. You'll get it at the end. So I told her, I said, "Do you mind if I take your pipe, just disconnect it here and see what's going on?" So she had a long pipe that ran from the dryer along the garage. It was about 20 foot of 4-inch metal pipe, and it was sitting right above her stem wall on the garage. So it was kind of like right above the floor. And like I said, it was about 20 feet. I disconnected it in one spot, and this thing's just full of lint. It's like you shoved insulation into this thing. I mean, it was just full of it. I showed it to her, and she said, "Yeah, go ahead and clean it out." So I took it apart. I cleaned it out. This thing was stuffed full of lint. Now, if you don't clean it good enough, and sometimes it's difficult to clean. I mean, you have a 10-foot section of pipe. It's hard to clean. It's almost better just to go down and buy another one. If you don't clean it good enough, you know, and you leave kind of a residue around the perimeter of the pipe, the inside of the pipe, then this allows for another spot where the lint will kind of catch on to. It's just like, you know, it's going to grab all the extra little pieces of lint that come out there and eventually, create another problem again. It's going to block it off. So what I did, and again, I didn't really have the time. I cleaned it. It took me about an hour to take it apart, clean it, put it back together, and I told her about it. I said, "Hey, you know, you could have a problem with this in the future, you know." But this lady told me, she called me, she was so happy. She goes, "You wouldn't believe it." She says, "My clothes are drying in half the time. It's taken her, her clothes are drying in less than half the time it was taken before." She was so happy, and I was thinking, you know, hey, these are things that make me happy. And these are reasons why I write my books, make my checklists, and make these videos. You know, I can't tell you how many people write in and say, "God, that was a crappy video." And then a week later, I'll get 15 people that tell me, "God, that was one of the best. That was so informative." You know, if you're not getting anything from it, big deal. But when you do get something like this, it can make all the difference in the world. So make sure that you check your dryer vents and make sure that they are not plugged up with an accumulation of lint or other crud that's preventing your dryer from operating efficiently. If you own a house, you should inspect it regularly. But how can you inspect a home if you don't know what to look for? If you're not looking for a complicated checklist or something that wasn't written in a language that you can't understand anyway, do yourself a favor and visit this website today. The most valuable investment you have must be protected and inspected.